Hello, my name is Keon Marsh, and I take Linguistics 45 by the one and only Richard Ben. How you doing? So I'll be doing my project on chapter 15, what is sociolinguistics, and the basis of this chapter refers to African American English in urban areas. I'm from a very urban area, New York City. I'm from Queens, New York. Went to school in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, so real urban areas, and I know the lifestyle, so I can relate to this a lot. So first I'd like to talk about African American language variety came about by a majority of African slaves who descended to the U.S. One of the biggest distinctions of African American language is Ebonics. Ebonics refers to the language of the African diaspora, and one example of African American Ebonics is in a song written by a former rapper named Big Al, who actually died. And it's a great example of Ebonics and what African American males in the urban area use to describe certain things, such as getting money, getting cheddar, hitting a lick, doing a robbery. So, it's just a whole bunch of stuff that's in the song that can really help you get a understanding of what's going on in the African American urban areas. And I like to talk about African American English can sometimes be viewed as a Southern variety. For example, that's where slavery came from, and that's where most slaves descended to. And most people say that, well, in the book it said it worked its way up into the northern area of the world, of this country, like New York, Connecticut, just like New Jersey. It worked its way up. And for example, the African American language has evolved, and rappers such as Nelly, for example, he uses her in one of his songs instead of hair, and that shows how the language has transformed throughout times. And other words such as fixin' has evolved into finna in our modern day language. So that's just another example of how things have changed. And African American language is forever evolving, So another thing is the features of African American language. Like Caribbean people tend to suck their teeth a lot. Growing up in a household full of Jamaicans, I understand that is one of the main features in how they express their anger or disapproval to something. And not just in a Caribbean household, but growing up in an urban area. For example, people such as my former friends or my old teachers would suck their teeth if they didn't agree with something, which is a bad habit. Our African Americans tend to use indirect language, which was big in the book, such as loud talking, using words to insult one another, and imitating what one does as a way of communicating, which is a negative way of communicating, because it's just not how you should communicate, but it's what African American language is. That's some of the features that it's based off of. And being from New York, I understand that a lot of people tend to use words like steady and been. Like, for example, if I was asking you, have you been to New York? Have you been to Connecticut? Somebody like, yeah, I've been went there already. Or if a teacher is constantly on the student's back, the student would be like, you steady on me. So, it's just an example of the I'm just making a connection to the words that are being used. And that's about it. I enjoyed the semester. I enjoy reading the chapters, and I just thank you for being my teacher.